Hi friends, couple of days back, a US based non governmental organization, a non partisan organization called Freedom House has come up with a report called Freedom in the World. This organization, which I called it as non partisan, that means in the US parlance, it is not associated with any political party, neither with the Republicans nor with the Democrats. And this organization was formed in 1943, and since 1973 it has been giving reports about the state of political freedom in different countries of the world. They use the United Nations. In 1948 UN General Assembly has passed the most important resolution on human rights. So Declaration on Human Rights 1948 in Paris. So that is taken as a framework, and they use the methodology for determining the political freedom of different countries. The 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 whole they give a score. The score is based on two major components. One is civil liberties. It has got 60% weightage, 60 out of 100 marks, you can say that. It again consists of six different areas like rule of law, individual rights, organizational and associational rights, freedoms, freedom of expression, and all those things. Whereas the other category is political freedom, that has got 40% weightage. Like four different areas are there, like governance, elections, periodic elections, etc. So out of 100 they give scores. So in each of the categories the score is given from 1 to 7. 1 means most free and 7 means least free. And countries which are the score, a final weighted score, if it is between 1 to 2.5, then the countries are called as free countries. If it is between 2 to 2.5 to 5, then they are called partially free countries. And 5 to 7 are called as least free countries or not free countries. And India, yes, in the free category, should be, but every year the score and the ranks are going down. This year they have given the rank for 195 countries, and out of that, 85 countries are considered to be free. India is in joint 83rd position along with East Timor and Senegal. Only one country is considered to be less free in that free category compared to India, the 85th position. That is Tunisia, where still there is a bit of flux going on. After Tunisia, if you remember, was the first country, Arab country, first country which where the Arab Spring took place, movement to topple the dictators started. Tunisia was the first country to start it, but still, unfortunately, the country is not very stable. So that is the least in the free category. That is the worst country, and India is just one step above it. We'll come back to India a bit later. China, Russia are all in the China not free category, Russia partially free category. Even last year, 2019, Putin came back. So this report 2020 says that even those elections are stage managed elections, because most of the political opponents, strong opponents of Putin, were not allowed to even contest the elections. So, but in China, the specifically it talks about the Uyghur problem. So last year, somewhere around November, one report came which said that Uyghurs are Turkic-speaking Muslim people in Xinjiang province. They are the majority people of Xinjiang province, which is just north of Kashmir in India. And it is geographically contiguous with Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, which has borders. And like the people of Kazakh and Kyrgyz, their language is also Turkic-based language. And ethnically also, racially also, they are closer to Kazakhs and Kyrgyz. They are called as Uyghurs, living in Xinjiang province. But China has been when China was undergoing this internal civil war in 1948 between communists and the people who opposed them, the KMT people, Kuomintang people. These people in Xinjiang, Uyghurs, announced independence. They created a new country called East to Turkestan. But after communists captured power, this rebellion was put down with brutality as usual. And repression has been continuing even before that also during the Ming dynasty Chinese empire also this has been going on, and Communist Party is continuing that. And Uyghur people are not even allowed to grow long beards. Their language is not taught in school. Their religion is suppressed. They are mostly Muslims. Some Christians and animists are also there, but mostly they are Muslims. They cannot, even the Muzarin who calls for them to prayer, he cannot call them to play a prayer also. And the report which was published in November 2019 said that more than 1 million people, yours, have been forcefully sent by China to something like Nazi concentration camps, prison camps. China said that yes, China has admitted that they have taken a lot of people there, and but they say they are vocational centers or re-education centers. So they are being propagated with terrorism, political terrorism. So we are re-educating them. This is what China officially explained. And later, some reports also say that around 80,000 people from these concentration camps have also been forcibly sent to the special economic zone in the coastal areas of China. There must be close to 5,000 kilometers between Xinjiang and coastal provinces Shenzhen. They've been sent to do slave labor, forced labor kind of a thing. So there was a campaign going on in Western countries not to buy products from China because they may be manufactured with the slave labor. Now, the UN has been demanding unfettered access to China to go and see whether this are true or not. China has been vacillating, and a couple of days back, China said they will allow UN observers. But UN said that we want unfettered access. We can go and meet anyone, any place, any political dissidents. Also, we will meet. So you cannot just take on a sanitized tour. That we, if that is the case, then we will not send any observers to Xinjiang. So this China, of course, we know is a totalitarian state and a repressive country. And normally, this report, Freedom House report, Freedom of the World report, given by Freedom House, China, Russia, and other countries, North Korea, Iran, all these countries are always given very low rank, and they say that we don't accept this report. But this year, they say that the distinction between China and India has blurred. That means there is hardly any difference between China and India, particularly in civil liberties, which is having 60% weightage. Civil liberties, there's not much of a difference between India and China. That is why India's score has been reduced from 75 to 71. 4 drop in the score has taken place. India scored 34 out of 40 points in the political thing because it said that India has conducted Elections in 2019, general elections and periodic state elections are also being held, and political participation of people, around 70% of the people voted in the election, also general elections. So therefore, India has reasonably good score of 34, but highest rank is out 100 out of 96, 97 for Nordic countries. 34 out of 40 was not bad. But in civil liberties, India's score was only out of 60, 37. That is what 34 plus 37, 71. Last year, 2019 report, India's score was 75. And it has been coming down continuously in the last 4 5 years. 71 and the rank of joint 83rd, and totally 85 countries are only are given in that free category. So this report says that India and China hardly have any difference in civil liberties, in giving the rights to the people, in freedom of expression. It very clearly says that journalists and academics who disagree with the government are threatened, intimidated, harassed. Very clearly tells that. And in fact, India's drop is about 4 points, is the biggest drop among the democracies. And it says that the things are getting from bad to worse. And it report specifically mentions two people. And one more thing is, this is not only happening in India. For the 14th consecutive year, the global average score has also come down. And this report specifically mentions two leaders which are responsible for the decline of freedoms in the world. The two people are Mr. Donald Trump and Mr. Narendra Bhai Modi. These two people, they say, one the leader of the largest democracy in the world, India, and one the leader of the most powerful democracy in the world, United States. Because of the policies followed by these two leaders, which they say is blinkered, they are following, Mr. Modi and Mr. Trump are following, having a blinkered view of national interests. What they are pursuing, they claim to be national interests, but it is not really national interests. Regarding specifically India, it says that India is diverging sharply away from the founding principles of pluralism and freedom, individual freedom. So India is slowly taking away the freedom which has been given to the people. And it specifically mentions that almost a 6 month internet blockage, which later, after long time, Supreme Court suddenly woke up and say access to internet is also a fundamental right and government cannot take it away. But it has been done for almost 6 months. It said the longest ever internet blockage in the world. It specifically mentions that this is how these rights are taken away from the people. It also talks about the CAA, NPR, which threatens few categories of people, minorities, civil liberty rights are threatened. And it also talks about the way the government has handled the protests against NPR and CAA, National Population Register and Citizenship Amendment Act. These three things they talk about. The way the government has handled all these issues has come in for very sharp criticism by the. It says that if civil liberties and pluralism are continued to be disregarded by the government in India, then even democracy is in severe danger. I have not cooked up anything. You can surf the net and find out what are all the things, what is being told by this report. Of course, anti-national report, no doubt about that. But no, this is not the first kind of report which has come about India. I talked a lot about many of these reports. I talked about in my Facebook page at least. So, as the report says, India is considered to be a great country. India has been respected by many people in Southeast Asia, Central Asia, West Asia, all our surrounding countries, because of the respect what we have for pluralism, diversity, tolerance, the ideas propagated by Buddha, continued by Gandhi, enshrined in our constitution, The bedrock of Indian democracy is pluralism. I have been repeatedly saying without pluralism, conducting regular elections is not, that's not democracy. Democracy means a liberal democracy. Liberalism means civil liberties. People should enjoy all the freedom. Otherwise, it is totalitarian, authoritarian dictatorship, like the case of North Korea or China. And this report very clearly says that the distinction between China and India is blurred. So it's almost the same. This report every year criticizes China for its human rights records and lack of civil liberties in China, lack of political freedom in China. You cannot express anything. That's why China is able to control coronavirus because they shut down all major cities. In India, it is not possible because we are a democratic country. We take pride in that democracy. And democracy is not about conducting elections. Democracy is the freedom of press and freedom of judiciary, freedom of autonomous organizations like election commission. So everything is being compromised slowly. So that means democracy, it has a grave risk. And it is we, the people of India, as the constitution starts in preamble, we are having a representative democracy. Since all the 130 crore people cannot participate in all the decision making process, law making process, we delegate that responsibility to few people whom we elect. But if those people whom we elect are not able to fulfill our aspirations, our expectations, do not follow the great principles of equality, fraternity, and more importantly, liberty, which are guaranteed in our constitution, who are following the philosophical principles given in the preamble, then democracy is in shambles. Therefore, we, the people of India, we have moral right, moral responsibility, and a constitutional responsibility to stand up and question the wrong policies which are bringing a very bad name to India in the global arena. I hope we all will come together collectively, stand up, and fight for the rights which are our own natural rights. I talked about all natural. What is natural is a lot in my ethics class, fourth paper of GS in mains, and which are natural rights are enshrined in our constitution. Our constitution will make us know about all this. That is why they put all these rights into writing, so that no future leader can trespass that or trample upon that. When that is being trampled upon, the onus, the responsibility, the sacred duty is on all of us, not individually, collectively coming together and opposing these policies. Only then we can save our own rights, protect our own rights, save democracy, and save India.